Hi everyone, it's Taylor here today and welcome to the first of hopefully many videos focused on the World Cup and Scotland's journey in the World Cup. Long may it continue. So I made the mistake of staying up and watching the Brazil Egypt friendly. So I've not been able to get on this I've not done the content creator thing and made something absolutely quick as I can. I wanted to kind of digest the game and also watch the Brazil game, to be honest with you. Just to kind of get an idea of the opponents or whatever. That's my justification for wanting to watch more football. But yeah, what did I think of that? Well, there's not really much to complain about when you beat a side 4-0, especially Bolivia. I know Bolivia didn't qualify. I know they finished in 8th, I think. It was something along that line. And it's not CONCACAF, is it? I don't know what the South American association's called. But I know they finished 8th or so, and that's just outside the qualification places. But they did beat Brazil and Colombia, who did make the World Cup. And Brazil, who are one of the contenders for the trophy. I wouldn't say they're the favourites. I'd say Spain are the favourites at the moment as far as the sort of bookies and stuff are focusing on. And you probably have England in there and Argentina and France. But Brazil are no joke. And I know Bolivia have that thing where their ground is very, very high above sea level, and it's this idea that oxygen deprivation can affect the players. So I understand that you can't take much from that. But come on, like 4-0 against a South American team who didn't qualify, but they're clearly they clearly have some quality in there to beat sides like Colombia and Brazil. As for the performance, well, there's some outstanding players. Most notably, could probably Shea Adams. If you just look at the stats, he scored 2 of the goals. But in my opinion, a player that really stood out was Gannon Doak. In my opinion, he was an amazing playmaker. From getting the ball back, he was the person that you were passing to get the transition from defence to attack, and he was absolutely brilliant at doing that. Scott McTomany, amazing performance as always, is to be expected, I suppose. He got a goal himself, probably the best goal of the game. I think that was goal number 2, I believe, just after Shankland's opener in the first 4 minutes, I think. And you can't complain about that. Shea Adams scores 2 really good goals as well. And yeah, while Bolivia didn't play very well, I must admit, it wasn't like we were playing against a team that was absolutely going for it, really. They had some chances, they had a couple shots on target, they had a good free kick in the second half. But other than that, not really much to talk about from Bolivia's point of view. But from a Scotland point of view, you've got to take that, you've got to be happy with that. Amazing performance. Again, I'm always going to be pointing out Gannon Doak, probably a lot in this tournament. In my opinion, missing him in Euro 2024 was a massive hit. I think with him and McGinn specifically, we've got two really good players that can play out from the wing as well. And I didn't notice much just thump the ball up the top and hope for the best. I'm hoping that stays the same. I'm one of those people that I'd rather win a game 3-2 than win it 1-0. Or I'd rather win a game trying to attack it than, win it by sitting back and keeping your 1-0 lead. I know that's kind of sacrilege in football, especially lower league football, the football that I kind of cover. But to me, in my opinion, football is something that you're meant to kind of watch to feel proud of the team when they get the win. And you can be proud of your team defensively. I'm not saying you can't be. I'm just saying for me personally, if I had the choice, that's how I'd want to win and play the game. But I understand that can give like a million people a heart attack. So who am I to speak? And I'm not a professional football manager nor footballer, so not got much to talk about when it comes to how things should be done, but that's how I'd want things to be done. But honestly, I'm really, really happy with that. I was getting really scared with those friendlies. I know they were really good opposition. I know that Ivory Coast and Japan are very good, and we only lost quite narrowly to Japan. We could have scored that goal in the beginning when we hit the post. Was it McTomany that hit the post? I can't remember who hit the post. I think it might have been McTomany that hit the post in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game in Japan at Hampden. But yeah, there was concern. In Curacao, when Curacao went 1-0 up, you were kind of like, oh no, how is this tournament going to go if this is how it's going to go? But Curacao got their player sent off and we came back in the game and won that 4-1. So you've got to take that. But honestly, I'm happy with that. Looking at how that could affect that, if that's if we play against a team like Haiti, I think that will be amazing, because that means that I don't want to say we're guaranteed to win, we're not, but we're definitely guaranteed to play against a team like Haiti like that to get the chances to get some goals and win the game. rather than what we've been doing more recently, which has been a bit more cautious and been a bit scared to try and get the ball forward, and only really doing that when we're 1 goal down. So yeah, fantastic performance from Scotland in my opinion, and I'm really, really happy with it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm excited for the World Cup to kick off on the 9th. I will be watching the Mexico-South Africa game. I'm one of those mental guys that tries to watch most of the World Cup games that he can. Unfortunately, because I've got a job, I can't watch all of them, but I want to get Mexico-South Africa at the very least, just to get that, you know, that vibe, you know. That was the first World Cup game I ever watched, ever. 2010 World Cup was my first World Cup, and when Mexico and South Africa played, I remember that game really well, the 1-1 draw. So I'd love to see a repeat of that in the Azteca. But yeah, honestly, really happy with that. My player of the match personally is Ben Gannon-Doak. However, I know most people will be saying probably Adams, or you could maybe put McTomany, Shankland. Shankland could have scored 3 goals tonight. He missed 2 opportunities that were just off target, or just not hit perfectly, or a really difficult header that he didn't manage to get. It was just as simple as that. I feel like Shankland could have had a hat-trick, Adams could have had a hat-trick, Gannon-Doak could have had, you know, a trifecta of assists, you know. So you've got, I'm really happy with how that's gone down. Personally, I'm hoping that's how we line up against Haiti, something similar to that, the original starting 11. I don't know who I'd want to add in, to be honest with you right now. Yeah, honestly, fantastic. Had the chance to watch it in full again. I was at work, so I missed the first 30 minutes, which basically meant I missed the first 2 goals, or I missed the first 2, and I got the 3rd one on the bus home, and I got the 4th one on when I got home, and I got to see it on the big TV. So I've got to give myself happiness for that, I suppose. But there you go. That's my opinion. 4-0 Scotland. You can't really complain, can you? What a time to be alive. Let's do the best in the World Cup, and let's try and get out of our group. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.